Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media, and we are so thrilled to have one of the venerable organizations in San Diego, 43 years of doing great service to those folks with special needs in our community, and that is TERI, an acronym for Training, Education, and Resource Institute, joined by Cheryl Kilmer, founder and CEO. How you doing, Cheryl?
Excellent, thank you.
Only 43 years, right? You got another 43 years in you?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. That's good. Joined by your Chief Development Officer, Dan DeSaegher. How you doing there, Dan?
Great, Drew. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, well, it's great. You got some great content to share. How long you been with TERI?
So I'm the newcomer. I've been just about over a year.
Over a year? Okay, that's it. And not quite at 43 years, but you got 42 more to go. So you're almost there. My co-host Isha Walia is a incoming junior at Northeastern University, but is my co-host for about. God, when you're all done, probably 20 interviews you'll be doing, something like that?
Yeah, about 20.
Exactly. He's done a great job on this and is thinking of maybe doing a little shift to her major to focus on communications over here. And she got to hold the bearded dragon in the last show over here, right? So that is the first. I know you have some questions for Cheryl.
I do. Tell us, what's the mission of your organization?
Well, our mission is to change the way the world views people with developmental disabilities.
Please tell me that with all these years and the great work you have done, and you have some wonderful colleagues that are in the field, Noah Holmes, and of course working with St. Madeline's, and go down the list on this. Are perceptions changing, I hope, a little bit on how people view special needs folks?
Oh, I think definitely.
Good.
They're changing a little bit. A lot more work to do.
There's a lot more work to do, but I guess I tend to be an optimist by nature. But you're always hoping that really we're not past this. Yes, you guys know this better than anybody because it's in your DNA. The contributions of the folks that you work with are huge, in these areas. But I'm glad to hear there's some progress in that.
Well, having been in the business for 45 years.
Okay, right.
I'd say we've had an opportunity to see, and 43 for TERI, of course. Of course, there's progress. There's just, continuing education is critical.
Right.
And the demonstration, our new campus has been designed literally to model not only quality services, but give our clientele an opportunity to share with the community and educate them in healthy ways of how they can contribute to their own sustainability and contribute to the community.
And exactly, Isha.
Yeah, tell us more about the 40 years of progress towards an inclusive society and quality of life for all that TERI's been working on.
Just our population or the population at large?
Both, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in our country, we've made great progress. It's just taken a long time when it's this many years, you look back, you think, I'm sure we could have made more progress, but, we've certainly been depopulating state hospitals over many, many, many years now, and we've pretty much depopulated all of our state hospitals in California now, with a few exceptions. So that's excellent progress, because that's how we started, was depopulating state hospitals and giving people the opportunity to move back into their home community, be closer to their families, and create a quality life.
So are there residents? Are they spend the night? Are they stay over? Are they housed at your place?
We have a broad array of model services.
Right.
So we have 12 homes currently and about to create many more. So that's 724, 365 days a year.
Right. How many folks are in the homes, in those 12 homes?
71.
71, right. And they range in age from?
Well, we started with some kids and some adults when we first founded, and our first grant was to go into the state hospital and select people that we could bring out into the community.
Right.
So at that time, some were kids, some were adults.
Right.
Now those kids have grown up; they have gray hair.
Right.
Many
but they're still there, correct?
They're still there. Yeah.
That's right.
Some have have passed over the years.
Sure.
And because we just are saying goodbye to one of our clients who was with us from the very beginning. So 41 years, 6 young men at the time, very young, with autism, and they lived together all these years as a family. And
wow.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that, with autism, on the rise. And you can add to this too, certainly, Dan, on this. Is it because we have better ways of diagnosing autism? Is that why? Or we have new research? Talk about that. How autism is
it's all those things.
Yeah.
So certainly we're doing a much better job of diagnosing because we've learned more over the years.
Right.
And there's more awareness. So, if you look back over time, there's people who will have some of the parents of kids who we serve in our schools say, I never realized it when I was growing up, but I'm actually on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot more awareness makes a huge difference in diagnosis.
Right, exactly. So, Dan, you're the person that has to bring in the money, correct?
And it's a joy. This is what TERI is doing is life-changing.
Right. How'd you get involved with TERI? What brought you to TERI and Cheryl?
Well, that's my background is actually I was 17 years at Qualcomm and about 10 years in aerospace. It was a missional calling, I would say, to move into nonprofit leadership. And so I've done a few different projects over the years. And when I was ready for the next big thing, I ran into TERI and I thought, if this story is true, I want to be a part of it. And so I met Cheryl and met Mark Nielsen. And it's been an incredible year.
Right, exactly. So the funding, you both can answer this one, but I'll start with you on this one, Dan. Are they come from individuals? Are there, grants? Is any of this through, government money? All of the above?
It is all the above. And the majority of the funding is through our social services, whether that's insurances, school systems, et cetera. But long ago, TERI made a decision to raise philanthropic dollars just to set the bar high. We're grateful for the social service dollars, but TERI carries an effectivity and a depth to the programs that we just need to raise private money. So we raise about $1.2 million every year just to sustain the programs. And then now we're doing this privately funded Campus of Life, which is a very transformational resource that will be for all the special needs community.
Yeah. I want to get that in a second. We're chatting with our friends from TERI, Cheryl Kilmer. She is the founder and CEO. 43 years the organization has been in business, and he's the founder, joined by her colleague, Dan DeSaegher, the Chief Development Officer. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight in the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 17th year in this beautiful mission-fed studio in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed's been doing great things for more than 60 years, joined by my colleague, and that is Isha Walia. She'll be an incoming junior at Northeastern University. I know you have a question for Cheryl and Dan.
Yeah, tell us more about how TERI's Campus of Life, what is it like?
So our campus is on 20 acres. It's located in Twin Oaks Valley, San Marcos, and we're midway through building it. We have a therapeutic equestrian program there that has been up and running for years. We finished just about 2 years ago our vocational center, which includes businesses that we're incorporating. Social enterprise is very important, I believe, to all nonprofit organizations.
Absolutely.
And so we're giving our students opportunities to train and internships and such and meaningful jobs on the campus. We have a beautiful restaurant there, a coffee shop, events. So we're just building the opportunities for our students to learn new trades. And we're currently midway through building our performing arts, our Walter and Betty Zabel Performing Arts Center and Fine Arts Center, so 2 separate buildings. They're going to be beautiful. Our Performing Arts Center has a 200-seat theater in it, so that will be open to the public to lease and perform in as well. So really, and all of our businesses there are created to be open to the public. So our restaurants are serving the public, of course. And
right. So it's all in the Twin Oaks area in San Marcos?
yes.
Okay, very, very good. Do you work closely with the mayor there, Rebecca Jones?
Yes.
For years and years.
Yeah.
They've been great supporters, as was Jim Desmond prior, and he continues to be a wonderful supporter as well.
Yeah, Rebecca's part of the Cloudcast team. She hosts a show called CEO. Have you been on it?
Yes, I have.
I know you have. Okay, on this, I was going to say if you're not, then we need to dock Rebecca's pay on this one over here. So, when is everything going to be built up? Do you have a date in mind, Dan?
Well, we're looking for this winter to finish this next Performing Arts Center. So there'll be a big ribbon cutting, and in probably April timeframe, we'd be launching events there, in the theater, whether they're concerts and things available for the public. The exciting thing is all the activities today are going on in Oceanside, at our 4 buildings in Oceanside. This will be the first major move from Oceanside to San Marcos. So our adult education program will be moving in. Okay. And that will open up new access. One of the biggest challenges for the entire special needs community is just access to services. TERI made a decision to grow and to grow privately because we need to meet more needs for more families and then open up more opportunities across the full spectrum. So it's very exciting times. It'll be a transformational resource for the entire community.
Right. We've been fortunate enough, and again, we love having folks that are in your space on the show. We can't talk about it enough. We can't promote it enough. We've had some friends on from Right Above Disability. Writing Above, I'm not sure if you know these folks. They have a therapeutic writing center for folks that are on the spectrum. And so we bring them in to chat. And it's really good. These guys can contribute. It's better than anybody. You've been doing it for 40 plus years. I don't think you were my co-host on this one. But we had somebody on, and and you could tell, it had some, challenges. And he called me a chatterbox during the show. He goes, "Drew, you're a chatterbox." I go, "Isn't that what I'm supposed to be doing?" I laughed so hard. Would love to offer to you, when you guys make a return appearance, is bring some of the residents on if they want to come in and chat about their experiences, what they like, what they want to do, maybe even have them co-host a podcast with me.
We have a few chatterboxes in our student body who would love to come.
Consider it a done deal. We'd love to give them the microphone to them on this. And so, when the Campus of Life is completed, is that going to increase the amount? You have 12 houses right now, residential houses. Is that going to grow, or is that going to stay about the same?
Well, the homes are growing regardless.
Right.
We have waiting lists for every single service that we provide. It's sadly. But we'll be able to serve more people on the campus because it's twice the size of all the buildings we currently occupy out in the community in our original headquarters.
Right. When we come back from break, we want to talk a little bit more of the collaborations that you folks will work with. Obviously, you've been doing this for so long. You collaborate with a lot of people. See, what relationships you may have with the colleges up in the area, Cal State San Marcos and Palomar as well. I know Isha's got some questions for you. And we always save some time, Cheryl and Dan, at the end. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? From volunteering to donating to pick a topic. And we're happy to do that when we return with our friends from TERI, Cheryl Kilmer. She is the founder and CEO, joined by her Chief Development Officer, Dan DeSaegher. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, joined by my great, phenomenal guest co-host, Isha Walia. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, The unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union in these wonderful Mission Fed studios here in Scripps Ranch. Honored to have in the studio with us today, the first are going to be many interviews with this great group, and that's TERI. Cheryl Kilmer is the founder and CEO, joined by her Chief Development Officer, Dan DeSaegher, and I'm joined by my wonderful guest co-host, Isha Owalia. Isha, you got another question for Cheryl?
I do. Tell us more about TERI and how it's a beacon of an inclusive community.
Well, we've been talking about the campus, and it's important for people to recognize that we designed it as a model of quality services and such to be replicated. So because there's such a huge need in our world at large, evidenced by the number of people that are coming to us from out of the country. So around the world, we've done a bit of consulting, and we've designed this so we can do it on a much larger scale. So part of our mission and vision from day one was to have the biggest impact possible, and we decided that creating models that could be replicated would be the best way to impact more people. So we've already seen delegations from China and Japan, and we've worked with Canada and Mexico, and Brazil has been to us. They're coming unsolicited because we're not advertising this yet. So just another indicator of how huge that need is out there. And that's our goal, is to demonstrate the equality and diversity that our community at large, our world at large, can always learn more about.
You can throw in the empathy DNA while you're at it as well, Dan.
Well, inclusivity is a word that you hear every day, and it is
right.
It's essential to our community to bring about the healing that we all need. Now, for us, inclusivity has been part of our DNA from day one.
Exactly.
And so I kind of, as the newer guy on the team, I'm working with pillars of diversity and equity and inclusivity and belonging, because that is where you start with the special needs community. And so when I was at Qualcomm, I was when I was searching TERI out, I looked at some of the videos on the website, and I found 3 of my colleagues from Qualcomm. One of them was in my office next door. And what it taught me is that this was central to his family, yet it was kind of a quiet challenge.
That's right.
And so one of the things that we feel is very important for us to get out into the community and be a part of that inclusivity conversation, because about 20% of American families are impacted by some type of a intellectual disability. That means 20% of a corporation. That means 20% of a church. That means 20% of any big group is looking for the support that TERI and other great organizations provide. But it needs to be a bigger part of the conversation. So as we appreciate getting this word out, because it is the first step. And then when you meet the guys and you see the special gifts that they have, then you've got then you got a community coming together. And that's really our goal at Campus of Life, is to expand the services and create those inclusive experiences for both your neurotypical folks, and then those that are at TERI that have such great special gifts to share.
Dan, you're so spot on that. When you think about it, so look at your company, and 20% of the company, whether it's 1,000 people or it's 40 people or it's Qualcomm at 8,000, whatever you guys have or used to have these days, maybe a little bit of a shifting in that area. And that person is probably right next to you who's got some of this aspect of it. And we know it's very private in many ways in this aspect. But as we were chatting with, we had Major General on earlier today talking about veteran suicide. They are 1.5 times higher than anybody else. 120,000 people have taken their lives since 2001, about the same amount that lost their lives in the wars at Vietnam and all that. But you have to talk about it. You have to do this. And we cannot shout out enough of the great stuff you folks are doing consistently, once, twice, 475 times. I know I'm preaching to the congregation on that aspect of it. But it's always amazing when you use a number like that, Dan, and people go, what, 20%? I didn't realize that. Well, yeah. But, the things that these wonderful folks, your residents do, and the people that you serve is really terrific on that. Talk about Night to Shine. I saw this on your notes over. What is Night to Shine?
You were there. I think you should.
Well, that was, and Tim Tebow's been a wonderful spokesperson across the world for creating a prom that honors the special gifts and kind of everybody's a king and a queen at a Night to Shine. So I heard that the Night to Shine was being hosted at North Coast Church, which is just around the corner from where we are up in North County. And so we got involved, and then it was really exciting because we kind of showed up and said, well, we want to promote this, and obviously a lot of our folks can come and attend and enjoy, but what can we do to help? And so I said, we've got this TERI Common Ground, amazing food, amazing entertainment. And they said, well, we've already got food sponsors, but we need cookies. And I said, well, we have a baker. And it was kind of exciting to give Andrea a chance, who's our...
You're making me hungry, Dan.
Okay. Andrea is our intern in the culinary school, and she loves baking. And so she got a chance to bake 1,000 cookies that we took over that night.
Wow.
And about 260 prom kings and queens had an incredible night dancing. But it was just a great way for TERI to kind of give back and be involved on both ends of we are a special needs organization. We certainly benefit by the help of other people, but we were able to pay it forward.
Yeah, but that's something you guys have always hung your hat on, Cheryl, because I've watched you guys from afar and stuff, and it's not, a handout. It's you're giving back as much as you're getting, always been that way in that aspect, and that means a lot, especially for corporate. I worked for the Union Tribune for 25 years running community and public relations, and we always love those nonprofits that, well, what can we do to help your efforts, Qualcomm or UT or Semper or whatever. And you guys are so spot on that. And that's a great learning that some nonprofits don't quite get, okay? If you always have the hand out, you got to reach across the table as well on that. And you guys are good at it, and so forth. That's great. Isha, I know you have another question.
I do. What would you say is the most significant challenge today for both TERI and for the people that you serve?
Funding is the biggest challenge. Funding and staffing. So especially post-COVID, as we're all very well aware, there's a widespread need for staffing and such, but funding's closely tied to that. And so that's the biggest challenge. I always say that's the only thing that gets in our way of doing so much more that we can conceive of at a pace where you can serve people sooner than later. The need's so huge, and it's tough having waiting lists everywhere. That shouldn't be the case. And that hence our model, because one day in the future we'll have enough impact that we should be able to start seeing those waiting lists diminish worldwide.
Yeah, right. From your lips, So what can our listeners do? I'll start with you on this, Dan, and then shift over to Cheryl. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
I think there's two key things. And on that theme of hiring, we've got 80 open recs.
Wow.
So anybody that has a heart that wants to be involved with TERI should jump out to our website and look at the career opportunities. And there's actually some brand new, exciting information. RBTs are now they're used in our program. They can actually that funding has changed.
Okay.
And they can earn a $30 an hour wage. We've been working real hard behind the scenes to raise the wages, attract good quality folks, and we can train them up. And those are great entry level jobs. That's a great job. Yeah. It is. And so that is a very key thing, is that, we are only impacted by enough staff and enough money. And on the money side, we've got about, we're 95% funded with our Performing Arts Center. So we've got about $1.5 million to go. It's a $15 million project. It will change the way San Diego sees the special needs community, and it will open up avenues for the North County and beyond to actually be on campus and interact. In everyday ways. So it meets every desire to build an inclusive community, and we want to be a beacon to San Diego for that very cause. The only thing holding us back there is funding, and we've got incredible opportunities for naming opportunities in buildings.
Great.
We've got seat sponsorships, and really what we want to do is build long-term relationships.
Right. So can they contact you directly or contact Cheryl? What's the best way?
Direct. I welcome that. I've been involved with corporate social responsibility in the past and actually welcome all of that. So just shoot me an email and you'll get a direct phone call back.
Right. And that email would be?
It's Dan DeSaegher at TERI. But at TERI, my name is too long. If you jump on our website, you can hit that link right there.
Very, very good. Cheryl, any final comments?
I tell you, we've been so blessed over the years to have beautiful relationships with individuals and foundations in particular who have made what we've done so far possible. So we've raised close to $30 million for the campus, and that's because of these wonderful people who come and learn and understand that we're all on a spectrum.
Exactly.
For many of them, and what kind of impact we can have when we have the support that we need from our community.
So let's get you guys back on sooner than later. Bring in some of the residents or whomever else, okay? And we'd love to do this, on a very consistent basis, because I think what folks, what you do and our other friends that are in that space, I'd love having Deborah Emerson is always on chatting about the great things at St. Mads, and Molly's been on with the, you cannot talk about it enough. Mm-hmm. And then when you hear from the folks that are getting the beneficiary and just see how dynamic they are, and again, I'm preaching to the congregation here, it just warms your heart. But the more people that are exposed to this, and to your point, when they see that Performing Arts Center, it's going to be a skyrocket on it. Cheryl, what a delight having you on, and Dan as well. We'll look forward to having you back on with some of your residents sooner than later.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. We will do that for sure. There's some great stories.
Consider it a done deal. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, on our 17th year, chatting with Cheryl Kilmer, the founder and CEO of TERI, joined by her Chief Development Officer, Dan DeSaegher. I'm joined by my very capable and very cool guest co-host, Isha Walia, an incoming junior at Northeastern University. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.